Hey everyone, welcome back to Sobotics, where AI meets the real world. I'm Sofia, an AI and machine learning grad student and systems engineer. Certifications are a great way to show potential employers your skills, deep dive into particular subjects, keep up with evolving technologies, or even just learn something new. I just earned my second AWS certification in May and was very excited to share the experience with you guys. So today, I'm going to introduce you to the relatively new AWS Certified AI Practitioner exam, how it works, how I prepped for it, and some free and low-cost study material to help you pass. So let's start with some basics. AWS, Amazon Web Services, started offering the AI Practitioner exam in August of 2024, so it's a relatively new offering in the AWS certification library. This is a foundational level exam that covers machine learning, generative AI, and Amazon's cloud products, of course, without requiring deep coding or deployment experience. If you want to learn about AI fundamentals in general, this is actually a great place to start. When taking the exam, you get 90 minutes to complete all 65 questions. If you have never taken a professional exam before, let me fill you in. The exam is given on a computer, either in person at a testing center that you can reserve at an available date and time, or virtually from the comfort of your own home with an online proctor. Just keep in mind that if you take it virtually, you must be in a quiet place with no potential distractions or things that can be considered cheating, like having a second monitor connected or a phone nearby. If you use your work computer and a Teams message pops up while you're taking the exam, guess what? You will be considered cheating and your exam will be invalid. If you're going to test at home, I highly recommend using your own computer in an isolated room. Personally though, I find going to the testing centers a little bit easier since everything is already set up for you. For more information about testing, I have linked a resource directly from Pearson VUE in the description below. The question types you can expect on the exam are multiple choice, multiple response, ordering, matching, and case study, essentially like a word problem in math. The cost of the exam is only $100, but keep a lookout for events and promotions from AWS. I actually received a voucher for 50% off during a recent promotional period. Lucky me. As I mentioned before, this exam mostly tests your conceptual understanding of AWS cloud and AI fundamentals and doesn't require any coding. It's really about knowing what tools exist, when to use them, and how to apply AI responsibly in the real world. So it's a pretty handy certification for a few different things. So let's talk about my experience. I took the exam after about 3 weeks of focused study. Now, I already know quite a bit about AI and AWS, but I wanted to see how well AWS explains generative AI and ethical practices to non-engineers or beginners. And honestly, it was very clear and broken down into basic concepts that I think a broader audience could understand. The exam wasn't too technical in the sense that there were no equations or code questions, but you do need to know how services like Amazon Bedrock, SageMaker, and Comprehend work conceptually. Plus, there is a very strong emphasis on responsible AI, bias mitigation, and secure data handling. I definitely encountered a few questions that I had to go back and revisit. Yes, you can go back to questions if you have extra time before completing the exam. Oh, one thing I do want to bring up is that unlike other proctored exams, this exam does not give you your result right away. You will not know if you passed or failed until AWS sends you your score report, which they say can take up to 5 business days. However, many test takers report getting their test results on the same day. This actually happened in my case as well. I received the results in about 6 hours in my exam portal. So let's talk about how to study for this exam. Luckily, since this is a foundational level exam, there are a ton of resources out there, including the official training through AWS. That's right, you can take the training for free with an AWS Skill Builder account, which is free to make. To start, take a look at the exam guide, which is linked below. This breaks down everything we have covered so far and more. It features exactly what to expect on the exam, the scoring method, and outcome expectation. The AWS Skill Builder training training contains modules you can go through that touch on the exam objectives and teach the concepts in order. There is also a paid subscription version of Skill Builder that comes with more practice experiences such as an escape room and pre-test. Both options are great, but if you feel that you need more in-depth practice and also might want to pursue other AWS certifications in the future, the Skill Builder subscription could be a very good investment. The practice exams can be really helpful to grasp what type of questions you can expect. The actual AWS training has numerous links to their documentation and reading, which explains in depth many different topics and procedures that are found on the exam. I saved so many links when I studied through their training, and I went back and skimmed through a lot of them when I needed more background information or just general understanding on a particular topic or service they offer. Stepping away from the official AWS resources, the website Elements of AI is another great resource for AI basics, and it's run by the University of Helsinki in Finland. Another great resource to use, as basic as they are flashcards. I find that flashcards really help me learn via active recall, a learning technique that forces you to dig deep in your brain for the information. You can use paper if writing helps you learn, or there are so many virtual flashcard generators online like Quizlet. You can even download the mobile app to take your flashcard with you on your phone. Actually, when my husband and I went on our last little road trip, I quizzed him for his certifications with the Quizlet app on my phone. So it really does come in handy whenever you feel like studying or have a free moment. Lastly, you can find many great videos right here on YouTube. Duh! One channel I really like is Free Code Camp. They have an almost 15-hour video going through the AWS AI Practitioner content, which I've linked below. Although, I'm not sure if you want to do it all in one sitting, but hey, if you can, more power to you. One very important thing I'd also want to point out, if you are looking into studying for certifications or really just anything, make sure you become familiar with what your primary learning style is. It is absolutely fine if you learn better by watching videos and someone else learns better by listening. I'm going to link a very good article about learning styles below. Once you figure out your learning style, it will be far easier to retain the information. Trust me. So you've been studying, you've figured out your learning style, you've scheduled your tests. Finally, let's go over some quick tips that helped me feel confident and ready on test day. Make sure you get a very good night's sleep. Try to have everything out and ready the night before. Make a study guide that you have out to review, your ID, clothes, anything else you might need the next day. My test appointment was at 9 a.m., so I woke up a little early with enough time to have a nutritious breakfast to fuel my brain. Avoid sugar or too much caffeine. I know the coffee is tempting, but you don't want to get too jittery or nervous before or during the exam. I looked over my notes and revisited anything I thought I needed to go over. Also, make sure you give yourself enough time to get to the testing center or prepare your testing environment at home if you're testing from home. Don't forget the proper identification. Pearson VUE has a list of exactly what you need to bring, and you will need it in order to test. Don't overthink the questions on the exam. Sometimes the wording can be overcomplicated or tricky, but just try to get to the bottom of exactly what you're being asked. Make sure for this exam you go in knowing what each AWS service use cases are and when it is most appropriate to use each one. Lastly, probably the most important tip, believe in yourself. And if you don't pass on your first attempt, try again. You can do it. Remember, the only way to fail at something is to quit. If you're thinking about jumping into the world of AI, the AWS AI Practitioner exam is a great first step, especially with all of the free learning content out there. I hope this video gave you a clear idea of what to expect, how to study, and where to get started. I wish you all luck and success in your certification journey. If you could please go ahead and hit that like button if this helped you at all, subscribe if you want more tech content, and drop a comment if you want a deeper breakdown of any specific AWS service, especially those involving AI and machine learning. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, my friends.